The House Judiciary Committee will now come to order. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Evans.
Here.
Veed. Here. Ellebrock. Here. Anderson. Coleman. Davis. Mackey. Here. Reedy. Here. Riley. Here. Sauls. Schroer.
All right, we do have a quorum. We'll jump right into first executive session. I move that House Bill 1682 as amended be voted to pass. Discussion on that bill by committee. We amended that, yeah, last week. Oh, this is where we're amended. Sorry about that. We're not there yet. Not yet amended, sorry. I have a House Committee substitute ending in .02C to offer. It has been distributed. I move for its adoption. This is, because we circulated it last week, the amendment I'm talking about. Discussion on that. Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting House Committee substitute for House Bill 1682 signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You've adopted the substitute. I move that House Committee substitute for House Bill 1682 be voted to pass. Discussion now on the amended bill. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Evans.
Aye.
Veed. Aye. Ellebrock. Aye. Anderson. No. Coleman. Davis. Aye. Mackey. No. Reedy. Aye. Riley. Aye. Sauls. Schroer.
By your vote of 7 aye and 2 no, you voted to pass Committee substitute for House Bill 1682. Now move on to House Bill 2056. I move that that bill be voted to pass. Discussion on that bill. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Evans.
Aye.
Veed. Aye. Ellebrock. Pass. Anderson. Yes. Aye. Sorry. Coleman. Davis. Aye. Mackey. No. Reedy. Aye. Riley. Aye. Sauls. Schroer. Aye. Ellebrock.
By your vote of 8 ayes, 1 no, you voted House Bill 2056 to pass. Now moving on to 2160. I move that House Bill 2160 be voted to pass. Discussion on that bill. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Evans.
Aye.
Veed. Aye. Ellebrock. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Coleman. Davis. Aye. Mackey. Aye. Reedy. Aye. Riley. Aye. Sauls. Schroer.
That was by your vote of 9-0. You voted to pass House Bill 2160. We'll now move into public hearing. Call House Bill 2678, sponsored by Representative McCreary. If you are ready, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Judge Evans and committee members, I'm Tracy McCreary. I'm in my 9th year of serving Mid-St. Louis County in District 88. House Bill 2678 is a bill that will add clarity to Chapter 130, which is the statute that applies to allowable uses of campaign contributions. Being an elected official is a great honor, but at times our actions and our words are not exactly popular with everybody. What this bill seeks to do is put in writing into our state law that campaign funds can be used for any reasonable legal fees incurred in one's defense arising out of our official duties. I've worked with the Missouri Ethics Commission to ensure that this language is precise and clear. You may ask yourself, why do we need to do this? Can't an elected official already do this? The answer is, it depends who you talk to. Placing this language into statute is the certainty that elected officials are looking for. I want fellow electeds to feel confident that if they do their jobs, that they will not be subjected to harassment via the legal system. I can think of countless examples of why an elected may need to use campaign funds for reasonable legal fees. For example, last week, some of you might have noticed, if you were following things going on in the state Senate, that Missouri senators were threatened with civil liens on their property if they did not vote a certain way. For me, I was part of a bipartisan group of lawmakers who filed suit in Cole County Circuit Court in 2015 for declaratory judgment to stop the governor and other officials from obligating taxpayers to pay for a new Rams stadium without legislative approval. We went to court to preserve this legislature's ability and duty to approve the use of taxpayer debt. But 6 years later, last year in 2021, 6 members and the entire Senate were served papers in our official capacity as part of the St. Louis Sports Authority versus the NFL lawsuit. They requested each and every document or communication I sent, received, or created in the last 8 years concerning the financing or bonding of a new riverfront stadium in St. Louis. Each and every document or communication I sent, received, or created in the last 8 years concerning that lawsuit. And each and every document or communication within the last 8 years, including documents and communications related to all political contributions. And this was from over 90 NFL owners, teams, or team owners. Now, our participation in that lawsuit was dismissed, but not without the involvement of our attorneys. The reason I'm here today is because next year, or next week, or 6 years from now, this could be any one of you. Even frivolous lawsuits have to be taken to court before they are dismissed. The right to speech is enshrined in the First Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. I believe that free speech and healthy debate are vital to the well-being of our democracy. Legal challenges could chill free speech and healthy debate by targeting those who communicate with their government or speak out on issues of public interest. To be clear, this bill doesn't contemplate criminal defense costs, only civil matters in our official capacity as legislators and elected officials. When my attorney called the Ethics Commission, he was told I could not use my campaign funds to pay for my legal fees. Fortunately, I was able to afford representation using my own personal funds, and even more fortunately, we were removed from the lawsuit fairly early. But other legislators and other cases may not have this same set of facts. What this bill does is it clarifies and codifies the Missouri Ethics Commission's guidance and gives every elected official the confidence they need to speak up on behalf of their constituents. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Questions from the committee for the bill sponsor? Seeing none, thank you. Anyone here to testify in favor of House Bill 2678? Anyone to testify in opposition? Anyone to testify for informational purposes? It's either a very good thing or not. I'm not quite sure. All right, that concludes the hearing on House Bill 2678. I would encourage you to talk to the members of the committee. Could put it on for exec next week to find out the feelings of other committee members. All right, we'll move on. I would call HCR 71, sponsored by Representative Riggs. Sir, come forward. Please proceed when you are ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, for allowing me to present HCR 71. Lewis Riggs, representing the 5th District, which is all of Marion, all of Shelby, and part of Monroe in Northeast Missouri today. So I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to present this bill. I probably should have started off with, may it please the court. I didn't, and you can admonish me. Okay. Since 1911, Eastern District of Missouri has included Northeast Missouri from what is now Highway 63 south to I-70, and the rest of the district itself south of I-70 to the Arkansas line, including St. Louis City and St. Louis County. Northeast Missouri basically now comprises what we call the Northern Division. Over the last 40 years, we have seen a new federal courthouse built in Cape Girardeau, judges added to the eastern and southeastern divisions, while the northern division has seen no new judges, magistrates, or courthouses. The Northern Division Court has not been staffed for decades. I have had the privilege over the years of helping to shelve new law books on the rare occasions when chambers were actually open. The only cases that are routinely heard in the Northern Division in Hannibal are bankruptcy cases, of which we have plenty. Civil cases are rarely heard. Litigants from the Iowa line have a 4-hour trip or better ahead of them to seek justice in St. Louis. We have a perfectly good courtroom in a perfectly good federal building, which is maintained by the GSA. The last judge confirmed the Northern Division to the Eastern District Bench was done so in 1995. This HCR simply asks that the House concur in a call to Missouri's congressional members to remember that intelligent life still exists north of I-70, and our citizens deserve access to justice the same as other citizens of this state. I will gladly take any questions at this time.
Questions of the sponsor? Yes, Representative Elbrock.
To inquire.
Go right ahead.
Are you quite sure that intelligent lives still exist north of I-70?
I sure hope so.
Me too, because I'm north of I-70 myself. I'm just kind of, sorry, I'm starting off with the hard questions. I do have a serious question. I mean, why has this not been filled since 1995? Any idea? I mean, that's gone through different administration changes like over and over again, right? Like we've had Democrats come and go, Republicans come and go for what now, 30-odd years. What's the holdup? Do you have any idea?
Once upon a time, there was a member of Congress who was actually in that particular building where the courthouse resides, who had an office there and left office in 1996. So I think that is a part of the overall problem. Another part is, frankly, we've had some pretty good success on the state side with appellate court appointments, Supreme Court appointment, but the federal side has just basically been lagging. And the fact that it hasn't been staffed, literally for decades, we're going back to the 1990s, was the last time they had staffing there. So,
Wow.
you know.
So is that a federal funding problem? I'm sorry to interrupt, but is that a federal funding problem for the Northern District?
It's a federal, I wouldn't say so much a funding problem, it's just an attention deficit. The money is out there, it's just basically not being resourced in that direction because the theory is, well, you just go to St. Louis and do it.
Sure. And
That's for folks all the way up in the Iowa line.
I'm not opposed to your bill. I'm just learning here, so I'm wasting everybody's time getting an education if they'll indulge me a little bit. But what's your civil caseload like apart from bankruptcies? What do you imagine that the civil caseload would be like up in that courthouse?
The occasional malpractice case, the occasional car accident case where, the value exceeds whatever. You've got diversity jurisdiction, but frankly, you see magistrates once in a great while. We have a judge who took senior status who comes up occasionally, but that's basically it.
What about the criminal demand?
I don't remember the last time they had a criminal case tried there.
So do you have an assistant U.S. attorney that's assigned to the district or anything like that?
I suppose. I'm not trying to be glib. I just
No, I know,
haven't
that's-
seen anybody up there.
That's an honest answer. You
forever.
practice in the area, so yeah. Okay. All right, thanks for the inquiry. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Further questions? Seeing none, thank you. Anyone here to testify in favor? Be sure and leave the form. State your name, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Andy Briscoe. I'm actually a registered lobbyist, but I'm taking that hat off today and speaking as a constituent of Representative Riggs's in his new district, I should say, and as a practitioner in the Northern Division of the Federal Eastern District. This is something that a number of folks in that area would love to see happen. For decades, we have had support to keep the Hannibal Federal Building open. Senator Eagleton was a huge supporter of it. Senator Bond was a huge supporter of it, and I know that his attorney, Lou Leonati, has submitted online testimony favoring this HCR. Senator Blunt has been a huge supporter of keeping it open and keeping it functional. The part of the concern in bringing this forward, and we're very pleased that Representative Riggs did bring it forward, is we don't have that same sense of security looking ahead with the new crop of candidates running for the U.S. Senate. No one seems to be as committed to it as Senator Blunt has been. So there's a concern in Northeast Missouri that since we do not have an AUSA staffed there permanently, and they just pop in on a freelance basis, and knowing that some of the magistrates and federal judges, with the exception of the senior judge who was appointed from the Northern Division, would rather do any number of things than drive to Hannibal to hear a case, we're concerned that there may be a movement to just shut down the facility entirely. So we want to have something that would draw attention to the need to keep the facility operational so that folks know that people are looking out for it and want to keep it working.
All right, questions by committee? Yes, Representative Veet.
this district that goes all the way to Kirksville, does it not?
Yes, sir.
And so the jury panel will, for this, if it's in the Northern Division, will be picked from that area.
Yes, sir.
As is now, if it's picked from that area, they have to go all the way to St. Louis, or just they don't pick jurors out of that area?
It's funny you should ask that. One of the few cases that I had in federal court, we initially filed to be tried in Hannibal. It was an insurance claim case. Our client's house burned. The insurance carrier denied full coverage. And we were told by the judge that he did not want to come to Hannibal for it. So our client had to go to St. Louis for the trial. The jury pool was pulled from St. Louis, so it really wasn't a jury of his peers per se. So ideally, the Northern Division would be pulling jurors from the Northern Division.
I'm old enough to have tried cases in front of Judge Meredith and Harper down there, but our jury panel came from that area.
Yes, sir.
And it's kind of can be a substantially different jury panel.
Indeed, it can.
And it'd be, if you're going to live in Kirksville and drive to St. Louis and be impaneled and have to drive back and forth, it could be a real challenge for your constituents there also.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Other committee questions? Seeing none, thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming. Anyone else to testify in favor? Seeing none. Anyone in opposition? Seeing none. Anyone for informational purposes? Seeing none, that concludes the hearing. We are adjourned.